Anybody else? All right, let's move on to Michael Holden and his craft talk.
Very good. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I am a financial advisor with Edward Jones. Edward Jones is a national financial advising firm and is privately held. So that means two things. I'm able to work in any state. I have the ability to work in any state in the United States. Because it's privately held, it's much like running my own business. So what I can do is overall investments, retirement planning, and living in retirement, as well as college savings for kids. What I will tell you is, as an advisor and as a firm, we're very human-centric, and we take a holistic view at a full financial picture. So whenever I sit down with a prospect or sit down with quarterly reviews with my clients, we do a in-depth look at their net worth, their cash flow, their liabilities, and make sure that they're in the right fit investment-wise to fit both their risk tolerance and their personal investment needs. How I kind of differentiate than most advisors is I like to have touch bases with all of my clients at least monthly. Doesn't have to be a total portfolio review, but to make sure to stay in touch and make sure that if any big changes have happened recently, that I am staying informed so that I can properly manage their portfolio. I will tell you that who I've had the biggest impact on, especially during these times, are folks going through career changes and might have old 401ks that are not actively managed. I find that in times of volatility, it is very important to make sure that you take your proper risk tolerance in account to account for the different market volatility through the rest of the year, as well as folks already with financial advisors. I've had a few clients cross over recently just because I've been able to not only look at better returns, but also lower their costs long term. So that's my business. I'm financial advisor with Edward Jones.
So Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself personally.
So I am recently married. I got married in November. I don't have any kids, but I do have 2 cats. Eventually, every now and again, a couple of them will come in the background here. And I am originally from Louisiana, but I've lived in Vegas for most of my life. I lived in Connecticut for 3 years and Montana for 2 years, but Vegas has always been my home.
And for our membership committee and all the members, because it's membership month, what attracted you to our club?
So I was looking for a good organization for community service. I belong to a few professional networking groups as well, but I feel in order to be well-rounded and make an impact in your community, you need to also be involved in your community, and I felt as though Rotary was the best way to do that. And
you're a Sunday school teacher, I understand.
Yes. Well, that was before COVID happened, of course, but my wife and I taught the youth group at least 2 Sundays a month at my church.
Excellent. And what would a good lead look like to you in your business?
I would say anybody currently with a financial advisor that just wants a complimentary portfolio review, or anybody who is going through a recent career transition that has a old 401k that is not actively managed.
All right. Any questions for Michael? Wow, you nailed it. We're so happy to have you as a member of our club. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Let's take it away to Melissa Kaiser, who's our featured speaker this morning. And believe it or not, she has to be at work at 9 o'clock. So she has to be early in the program. Thanks, Michael.
Great, thank you, Linda. Happy to be here, and I don't know how much time you wanted me to.
20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. So I was mentioning at the start of the call that Discovery Children's Museum reopened its doors on June 30th. which running the business with COVID has its own set of challenges. Keeping our staff safe and our visitors safe has been a huge part of our priority, and writing a plan that had to be approved by the governor in order to reopen. We are one of the first children's museums in the country to have reopened successfully. There's really a handful of children's museums that that have been able to navigate and figure out how to do it financially and cautiously. So I think Las Vegas can be really proud of that. We are 30 years old as a museum in the community this year. And part of our mission has been community engagement. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the project we did with Summerlin Rotary, Spread the Word Nevada, and 3 Square last fall before shutdown, as well as how we're handling community engagement in a current COVID world, where group gatherings and other modes of education delivery with schools being closed right now are posing challenges for, typically we would go into a school with our mobile programs, we'd go into a community center like we did with Together We Learn, we'd go, we'd have field trips, we'd have, thousands of Title I school kids benefiting from our museum curriculum through field trips, and none of those things are happening. So, it's really our mission to figure out a way to deliver our services to the kids that need it most and who need the most help. So I'm going to try a share screen here. Okay. Is that working?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. So I have to move you over here. Sorry, it's so confusing with figuring out how to advance all this stuff on here. I've never done this over Zoom. So Together We Learn was a partnership that really Glenn had approached me when the district was looking for ways to solve issues around literacy for our pre-K youth, and specifically 1 to 4-year-olds. And we came up with a really unique collaboration that we think can be modeled across the country in other communities. We partnered with Spread the Word Nevada, who focuses on literacy as their mission. And we chose them as a partner because literacy education is interconnected. So, you have to have food in order to deal with literacy. You have to have family engagement or adult mentorship in order to get advanced literacy. And you also need experiential learning. So whether that's using your ears because words are being sounded out for you, using your eyes, your senses to learn letters on a page, having fine motor skills, having teamwork. These are all important factors in literacy readiness. So Spread the Word Nevada was a perfect partner because they had a relationship with 3 Square that was able to bring snacks for that nutritional support we needed. And we also offered our programs bilingually so that we would have access for families that were not English language as their primary language. So the grant we put together covered staffing, supplies, snacks, and then books for the families to take back with them to build their own collection of libraries. So this summary here on this page shows that we focused on serving children that lived in neighborhoods where schools qualified for free and reduced lunch and where their 3rd grade reading proficiency was less than 50%. So that's how we found our participants. And we had planned to do 4 sessions. We only got through 2. And they were, I think there was someone from Rotary, was it Diane? Were you and Dave did you visit one of the
It
sessions?
was Neil and Claire Roth.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I knew it was someone. I was not there, so I know that we talked about it on one of our cocktail parties. So we did well. We had some attendance. We were hoping for 12 kids. We got about half of what we had sought, but you know, the families that participated in the first series found so much value in it, they came back for the second series. And you know, just some basic ideas. These are pictures of the read out louds, and some of the engagements where you would talk about what you read and use your words and use play materials to illustrate what you learned. So, you know, we were very grateful to at least get 2 sessions in, but unfortunately we shut down shortly after the second session had happened. And at this point, we'd love to talk with Spread the Word again to see if it's possible, but what we're finding just in being open is that some of the challenges that were discussed at the beginning of the Zoom, the family engagement piece, families having the ability to take their kids and not have to manage school or not have to manage other kids in school right now, it's really posing a challenge for gathering together. Not that it's impossible, but we would have to, you know, really contact each of the families and engage their interest in order to get it rolling again. So when we closed on March 16th, which was 3 days after our last Together We Learn, we immediately started thinking about how we could virtually offer our services and put together a website called At Home Discoveries. They're bilingual education, videos, translated worksheets for science experiments, ASL resources, and the community really jumped on board. So we had members from the Vegas Golden Knights say, I'd love to do storytime reading. And so we had Nate Schmidt, who's my neighbor, read a Curious George book, and his video is on here. And then Derek England said, I want to do one. So he did a reading. And then Napoleon McCollum did a reading. And so the literacy work continued to live on in a virtual format. We know that not all kids have access to the internet. So the digital divide to get this resource into all the kids' hands, we know was somewhat limited. That's why we made printable worksheets. And now we're really thrilled that CCSD is allowing YouTube videos on their Chromebooks that are approved by their Go Guardians. So all of our content will be available to kids in partnership with the school district this coming year. You know, we have a video on our website. There I am. I could click it and play it, but I don't think you need to see it right now. But it really shows all of the precautions that we took. We spent a lot of time and money retrofitting our museum, removing exhibit components, installing plexiglass, installing a scanner temperature thermometer, and doing continuous cleaning. So really our welcome back video, this was a lovely donation by Canico Media, who said, how can we help you reopen? And so I encourage anyone who's interested in watching. It kind of looks like one of those like movies you watch on an airplane, the safety video. So, but we were really proud of this. I think it built a lot of consumer confidence. And I will say that our 45-page strategy for reopening was cited by the Governor's LEAP as one of the best reopening plans they had seen in the state of Nevada. And so that was really rewarding for us to really feel like we crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. Throughout the museum right now, we came up with new house rules, and we tried to make them kid friendly. So rule number 1, wash your hands a lot. while singing happy birthday twice, and make sure to get your thumbs. This is translated in Spanish. Number 2, cough into your elbow. Then please go back and follow rule 1. Number 3, wear your mask. Feeling awkward? Just remember, if superheroes can get used to wearing a mask, so can you. Number 4, stay at least 6 feet apart, or as we like to think of it, keep 2 baby sharks distance between families. These are posted throughout the museum, and then we have floor signage, making social distancing fun by illustrating what 6 feet wingspans look like in your dad's arms, the size of 2 2-year-olds, 3 garden gnomes, a pair of moose's antlers, and the message to stay healthy and keep discovering. Oh, the length of a giraffe's neck. I like that one too. So they're all throughout the floor. We worked with a fabulous local design team here called Hey Frank. They're actually up in Reno, but they've been a really wonderful creative partner. Oops, there's a 2 pirate treasure chests too, sorry. Lots of it. So then, as I mentioned, we welcomed our members back, and here's a little video. Good morning. So that just gives you a little sense of what that opening day felt like. It was, we had free popsicles given away, but, really just an emotional experience for all of us to see kids in the museum again, doing something other than being on screen and using their imaginations and play. So to address the new challenge of all kids being back to school virtually, we're doing a lot of things. Number 1, there is a new organization called connectingkids.org that's trying to help find every child in CCSD and get them connected to a Chromebook or internet service. There's actually a call center that we're referring families to who are in need. Tammy Hance, who's one of our Summerlin Rotary members with Communities and Schools, has been a main partner on this project. And we've helped identify 71% of our CCSD enrolled students. Of course, there are 15,000 homeless students. There are many more that cannot complete the CCSD survey. So at Discovery and at the libraries, as part of our wellness check, we have a laptop or an iPad where we ask families if they filled out the survey yet, and we're giving them back to school pencils if they fill it out on the spot. We see about 20% of our attendees are on public assistance because we have a reduced admission program, and the libraries as well are seeing a lot of families on assistance. So we've been trying to identify the families, number 1. Number 2, we are deploying our Discovery on Wheels mobile program to the libraries that are hosting classrooms in their library branches for families that are working families, as well as wraparound services. We are taking our mobile programs to community centers, the Vegas Strong emergency family care centers, and family, friends, and neighbor centers through Urban League. We've had to quadruple our staff to be able, and supplies to be able to bring our mobile work into the community at the demand that we have. We've also decided to give up our traveling exhibit hall. It's 5,000 square feet, and to create 5 study hall classrooms with HEPA air filtration. These are hospital grade filters, and a place where kids parents can, if they can drop them off at 8 a.m., pick them up at 5, and pack their own lunch. We can help them, and they'll use our internet. We'll help them get onto Canvas. We'll help monitor their homework, and then we'll have supervised play for them in the museum for several hours. So we have 120 spaces. And so right now it's, I'm working with the reInvent schools, and looking at the schools who are near downtown that make the proximity close for families to drop off their children. But, you know, it's been a complete pivot of our community work that's taken a lot of effort. Right now we're offering it for free. I'm seeking grant funding so that we can deliver these programs. So I'm basically going on a wish and a prayer that the funding's gonna come through. We've got a lot of proposals. I'm working on a major federal proposal that's due tomorrow. So we're just trying to solve the problem in our community in the ways that we can. And so, you know, I'm so excited to share it. It's been I've never understood quite the definition of working tirelessly on a problem before. So thank you for letting me share it with all of you.
Melissa, we're so happy to have you as a member. And Melissa's husband, Roy, is with the Nevada Ballet Theater. And they're just kind of a power couple in the community. Claire and Neil, you dropped in on Together We Learn. Would you like to say what you observed when you were there?
I mean, it's just what she said. It's just an incredible program, and the people from the museum who were directing the program were incredible with these young kids. I mean, they were so engaged and so enthralled with the reading. I particularly was impressed with the reading of the book because the kids were rapt, and I sort of didn't know that it took a particular training to read a young child a book.
Oh yeah, I can tell you that for sure.
I must have blown it with my kids. I don't know, but it was just really interesting how it's really, you got to really understand what they're capable of. And they were capable of a lot, very creative, the children, and everything that was there, the children were so supported in being creative and being curious, and they wanted to do everything. And then it was wonderful to see the parents. So it was also sort of like a little bit training for the parents on how to interact with the kids in a way that is empowering their curiosity. So it was really neat to see how the parents were learning as well about letting the kids kind of lead, but supporting them and participating in something other than looking at a screen, but like actually, you know, doing something together. And then the parents were super proud. And it was just an amazing, supportive, inspiring environment for learning that, and I'm just so impressed with everything you're doing in the community. It's like right on.
Christy, have you ever taken your family down to the museum? You have to
yeah. Yeah, I have. I love that museum. I was telling Melissa, when we lived in New York, we would take our kids to the Children's Museum there, and I'd never seen anything like it. And I think ours in Las Vegas rivals that.
I can't hear.
We're having a little trouble hearing you, Christy. Audio seems to have a challenge this morning. All right, any questions for Melissa?
What does she need?
Hey, Melissa, is there anything that we can do for you guys?
Well, we need to find kids who are who are in need. I know we have a relationship. Is it with Dean Peterson? Is that our school? No, Palo Verde. That's high school, right? Do we have an elementary?
We have McMillan Elementary and we have Johnson Middle School. And Greg Townsend and Glenn Ritt are on the Youth Services Committee, and they're wired in there.
So I have a survey that I'll forward out to Rotary that we're sending out to principals of schools that might have kids to, you know, assess their needs and whether they can identify children. So we need that. We have a challenge grant going on right now where dollars will be matched 100% by an anonymous donor through September 30th. So it kind of doubles impact of any gift. So, you know, we're trying to raise at least $200,000 by September 30th for this. Like I said, we're working on a number of proposals. But I think, you know, I'll also spread the Connecting Kids in Nevada link in the survey so that if you know children, if you have grandchildren or friends or neighbors with children, just, you know, we need every child accounted for, even if they're they have everything they need, we just need to account for them. So we need everyone to take this survey, and we have 7 days to try to identify all of the 314,000 kids in our school.
Oh my goodness, that's a tight timeline. I had talked with Tammy Hance about a program that Cox was offering for connectivity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that Tamar at Cox must be overwhelmed because I wrote to her last week and haven't heard back. We're applying for a grant from our club for some type of purpose to help with this issue. If you think the Connectivity for Kids may be the answer, maybe I'll contact them.
Yeah, I think Connectivity for Kids has a call center now, and it's like a concierge service to help families on an individual basis find out if they qualify for the Cox broadband subsidy. It's short term. There's T-Mobile hotspots. So they're kind of aware of the resources, and there's unfortunately national legislation is holding up you know, broadband assistance in this CARES Act bill that we hope will make some movement just to help on this issue. But anyhow, that's I think that might be the way to go.
Can you tell us?
Melissa, where can you go online? Can you go online to contribute to the matching program?
Yes, it's on the Discovery Children's Museum's website, and I can also include that in a link or put it in the chat box, whatever's easiest.
But it's on the website, okay.
Yeah.
And Melissa, can you tell us what attracted you to our Rotary Club?
Well, I met Glenn, and you just can't say no to Glenn when you get going with the passion. And I was new to Vegas when Glenn and I met. I've now been here 2.5 years, but you know, just being new and looking for community and having pride in the Las Vegas that's about the people who make it up and live here versus you know, other external ideas of the Las Vegas community. And so you know, I met my neighbors, and here you are, and I'm just so grateful for the spirits and hearts of everyone's caring about the social needs of this community, our community.
Oh, Melissa and I met through a mutual friend who had been together at a writer's workshop. And it's been an enrichment to my life to know Melissa